Hi, I'm Christian Bidner, Safety Product Manager for Gerrie Electric, and I'm here to introduce to you Rockwell's newest solenoid locking switch called the 440G-MZ with built-in GuardLink technology. The 440G-MZ, or MZ as our American colleagues like to refer to it, is Rockwell's newest addition to its solenoid locking portfolio. I'm going to provide more details on comparisons to existing solenoid locking switches and how it compares to the new MZ model in later slides. The MZ combines the traditional locking capability of a solenoid locking switch with two newer technologies. The first is an RFID read head, which prevents intentional defeating. The second technology is a GuardLink connection capability, and I'm going to give more details on both of those technologies in later slides. The MZ is designed for large, heavy-duty guard door applications due to its high holding force capability. It also has a large actuation insertion tolerance to compensate for sagging or misaligned doors that can happen in the field. Future releases of the MZ will include a escape release option. Application-wise, basically, if a risk assessment stipulates the use of a solenoid locking device to ensure the worker is not able to enter the hazardous area while the machine is running or during rundown or shutdown of the machine, the MZ is a really good solution. Think of applications like turning machines, boring machines, CNC, or any kind of packaging machines that do have longer rundown times. The MZ is a really good solution for this. In my next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the features of the switch. So let's talk about some of the new technologies that are built into the MZ model. So first of all, the MZ is an electronic-based solenoid locking switch with built-in diagnostics and fault-finding information that is accessible via the GuardLink connection system. It also has OSSD outputs, which stands for Output Signal Switching Devices. These are transistor-based outputs. And as we know in the functional safety world, anything that is transistor-based means that it has a higher reliability than, say, some of the traditional technologies used like electromechanical locking systems and so forth. This means that the switch can maintain a PLE Category 4 or SIL 3 solution even when connected in a series connected circuit. The second technology I want to talk about is the RFID actuator. This provides additional protection against unintended defeating or bypassing by workers. In other words, you can't just take another actuator, plug it into the switch, and expect the system to work. The RFID actuator means that the actuator and the switch are mated. The standard version of the actuator means that it can be reprogrammed multiple times for different actuators to the switch, and the unique version of the actuator means that they are permanently mated together. So if the actuator or the switch is somehow damaged, you have to replace both of those components on the door. Another thing to note is that this switch actually has an IP69K rating. This means that it can be used for heavy-duty washdown applications, specifically in the food and beverage industry. I'm going to get into a little bit more detail about what the key or the actuator can do in the next slide. The actuator, or the key as it's sometimes referred to, is actually the portion of the switch that gets held in place by the solenoid action of the switch. In this case, it has a built-in misalignment tolerance of about 5 degrees, and that means that if the door or gate system somehow gets misaligned or starts sagging because of use or over time, that this switch is able to compensate a little bit for some of that sagging that may occur. GuardLink is a safety-rated communication system by Rockwell Automation. It enables devices like emergency stops, gate switches, roll pulls, and solenoid locking switches like the MZ to be connected into one single communication system while still maintaining a high safety-rated performance level, such as PLD Category 4. It can also provide enumeration, in other words, which shows which device has been tripped, and also with devices that have the capabilities such as the MZ, diagnostic information and fault indication can also come across the same network. For the diagnostic information, it can be ready to lock, voltage issues, actuator not paired, or guard door open. Fault information such as failure to lock or unlock can also be accessed, And when it comes to locking and unlocking, that can be done over the network through an HMI or PLC, as well as resets. In order to set up the communication using the MZ, you simply use a passive tap in order to make that happen. For applications, as I discussed before, if the risk assessment determines that a solenoid locking system is required in order to keep workers out of the hazardous area of the machine, the MZ is a really good option, especially for heavier door applications. In the application example you see here, it's a CNC machine. In this case, the main spindle, while it's turning, creates a potential hazard. And in order to ensure that the worker cannot enter the hazardous area while the machine is running or while it's shutting down, we're using the MSR55P stop motion detection sensor to determine that when the motor comes to a full stop, only then is it safe to enter the hazardous area. The MSR55P then sends a signal to unlock the solenoid locking switch, the MZ. It creates a great system, and in this case it also uses the dual input safety relay that monitors the e-stop as well as the dual safety contacts from the MZ model. So here's a comparison slide that shows you a number of different Rockwell solutions when it comes to solenoid locking switches. The question comes up, which one is the right one to choose? Well, this is really where the risk assessment should be able to help you out, because that will determine, for example, how big or how heavy that door is that you're going to need to remain in a closed position while the machine is coming to a stop. So for example, notice that the MZ model, the holding force is about 2,500 newtons, which is about 650 pounds of holding force. The smallest model is the EZ, which only has about 500 newtons of holding force. The next thing that is determined by the risk assessment too is, how do you want the switch to operate? Do you require a power to lock or a power to release version? Once again, notice that the EZ model only comes in a power to lock version. So you have to be cognizant of how the machine could shut down, or if it loses power, that maybe the doors may open up because of the power to lock version only. Second thing that the risk assessment should kind of tell you is the performance level or category rating that you need to attain for your safety circuit. The TLS model would be a really good solution if you only have one door that you're going to be monitoring per your safety circuit, because it can still maintain a category 4 PLE SIL 3 solution when it's a single switch wired into a safety system. However, if you start wiring multiple systems or multiple TLS models together in series, your safety rating will actually drop. You'll go to PLD and a category 3. If your risk assessment determines that you need to maintain a PLD or PLE certification even with multiple devices in series, only the GuardLink and the TLS-Z or the LZ will give you that capability. The next thing you want to ask yourself is, what other information do I want to be able to communicate over my safety network? Notice that the MZ is the only version on there right now that has GuardLink capability that not only gives you the status information of the switch, but also diagnostic as well as troubleshooting information. Hopefully that clears up some of the confusion on how to pick or choose the right switch. And if you do have any questions, like I say, please feel free to contact me. I'll give you my contact information in a later slide. This concludes the product presentation on the new 440G-MZ guard lock safety switch. If you'd like further information such as installations instructions or user manuals or drawings, please visit the Rockwell Automation website. If you'd like a quotation on the product, please visit our Gerrie Electric website and type in the part numbers that you're looking for. If you do have any questions about installation or how to use this product in applications, please feel free to contact me at Gerrie Electric. My contact information is listed in the slide. Thank you very much. Have a great day.